So if you remember from yesterday, standard form is how the number is normally written, how we normally see it. So they call it standard form, kind of like saying normal form, the way you normally see it. I'm going to take my number from standard form and I'm going to copy it into my place value chart. I'm going to make sure that I pay attention to my commas so I know I have the numbers in the right place. We have 3, then a comma, 1, 9, 7, another comma, 4, 8, 5, then another comma, 0, 2, 6. Okay. The place value of the 1 is blank. Who can find the 1 in this number and tell me what place value it's in? Brianna?
100 millions.
100 millions. Fantastic. So it's not just a regular old 1. It's 100 million. So I'm going to look after that place value and see how many zeros I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 zeros. Messiah, it's place value for A, page 1. Make sure we have our camera on, Messiah. That is a lot of zeros for us. I should have 2 commas. 1, 2, 3, 1 comma. 1, 2, 3, 1 comma. All right. For today, because you guys did really well with it yesterday, we're not going to do the whole word form. We're going to practice a little bit, but we're just going to go to expanded notation. All right? So before we go to it, I just want to practice a little bit. We have our units period. We have our thousands period. Our millions period. And then today they added the billions with a B. Billions. I don't know why, but when they add the billions period, all of a sudden people think that the billions changes everything and it makes the number super scary and very, very difficult. No, all the patterns, everything we've done, it stays exactly the same. It's got extra zeros to it, but it doesn't make the number any harder or scarier or anything like that. So I don't want you to see the billions and then go, oh my gosh, this number's impossible. The same kind of numbers we've been working with before. It just looks a little bit longer. So if I asked someone who can read just the millions period for me, how would I read the millions period? Haley, how would I read the millions period?
197 millions.
Perfect. And I like that you didn't include the word and. 197 million. Awesome. Okay. If I was going to read the units period by itself, how would I read this number? Aideen?
26.
26. Awesome. And I love that you didn't let the 0 fool you. Okay. If I wanted to read just the billions period by itself, who can tell me how would I read that billions period? Messiah, how would I read the billions period?
3 billion.
3 billion. Awesome. It's by itself, so it's 3 billion.
Nana, what are you doing?
Okay. Now let's do our expanded notation. So again, expanded notation means that it's going to look a lot longer than it does here. If we write this in expanded notation, what's the first digit that I should start with? What's going to be the first digit I start with? Kylie?
3 billion.
Awesome. 3 billion, because it's my biggest digit. We have 3, and it's not just a regular old 3. I have to show that the 3 belongs in the billions period. So let's see how many zeros we need for a billion. I'm going to count all the place values that are smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 zeros. That is a ton of zeros. So a 1 and then 9 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I need 3 commas. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. Yes, Alexa.
I can't really see because I think it's like sideways and I can't see the other number.
Oh, hold on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I can't stop here because 3 is not the only number here. There's more to it. So I need to put a plus sign and move to the next digit. What's the next digit after the 3 that I should have for my expanded notation? The 3 is first because it's the biggest, but then what? Jada? Oh no, Jada disconnected. Who can tell me? After the 3 is what? Nakai? Oh no, Nakai's frozen. Am I just cursing everyone right now? Is that what's happening? Who can tell me after the 3? Let's see if we can do it without disconnecting or freezing. Kylie, you're brave right now.
1.
You didn't disconnect or freeze. Okay, it's a 1. What place value is it in, Kylie? What place value is that 1 in? Not a regular old 1.
300 million.
100 million. Okay, so I have to put times and then put 100 million to show what place value it's in. I froze everyone, Brianna? Is that what you're saying? Am I like turning into Elsa from Frozen or something? I have ice powers? I wish. Then all my sodas would always be cold. Okay, so 1 times 100 million. Let's see how many zeros I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros. So I'll put a 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros.
No.
I need 2 commas. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. So we had a 3 in the billions place, a 1 in the 100 millions place. What comes next? 3 in the billions, 1 in the 100 millions. What's next? Edine, what's next?
10 million?
10 million, and what number is in the 10 million place?
9.
9. Awesome. So I have a 9, and it's in the 10 millions place. Let's see. Here's my 9. Let's see how many zeros I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros this time. Okay, Jada, that's fine. I thought I froze you. I thought that was my fault. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's see, we need still 2 commas. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 9 times 10 million. Okay. Plus, what comes after that 9? There's a 3 in the billions, a 1 in the 100 millions, a 9 in the 10 millions. Then what's next? Haley.
7 millions.
Perfect. There's a 7 in the millions place. So 7 times, let's see how many zeros we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros. I'm not going to have space to write it here. So I'm going to put it on the next line. Put a 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. They'll need 2 commas. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. All right. We're getting closer and closer to the end of that number. I see that these parts are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. What number is next? 3 in the billions, 1 in the 100 million, 9 in the 10 million, 7 in the million. Jaylene, what's next?
The 100,000s.
And what digit is in the 100,000s?
The 4.
4. Awesome. 4 in the 100,000s. We have 4. See how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros this time. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. One, two, three, comma. That's it. We don't need any more commas. Just the 1 comma there. All right. I see they're getting smaller and smaller, so we're making some progress. After the 4, what comes next? Bailey?
10,000.
And what digit is in my 10,000 place?
8.
8. Awesome. So there's an 8, and it's in the 10,000s place. Let's see how many zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I still need just the 1 comma. 1, 2, 3. All right. Getting smaller and smaller. We're down to 4 zeros. After the 8, what's next? We've done the 3 billion, 1 in the 100 millions, 9 in the 10 millions, 7 in the millions, 4 in the 100,000s, 8 in the 10,000s. What's next? Jada, I know you raised your hand earlier. Let's see if we can get a chance to do it this time. What would be next, Jada, after the 8? What's my next digit? Okay, 5. And what place value is that 5 in?
The thousands.
The thousands. Awesome. We have 5 in the thousands place. I'm going to put 5 times 1,000. Here's my 5, so I need 1, 2, 3 zeros. 5 times 1,000. All right. We're almost there. There's very little zeros now. Who can tell me? After the 5, what comes next in the expanded notation? Alexa.
Two tens.
Perfect. Awesome job remembering. We don't include the zeros in expanded notation. We always skip them. So the next one would be 2. And you said the 2 was in the tens place. 2 times 10. And if I look after 10, there's only 1 0. Ooh, 1 0. That means we're almost finished. What is the next digit? After the 2, what's next? Kylie? Oh, it happened again. Who can tell me? The 2 and the tens, what's next? Who's brave enough to answer the question? Jaylene.
Um, the zeros.
Not the
Fives?
zeros. After the 2 and the tens, what digit is next?
The ones.
The ones. And what digit is in the ones place?
The 6.
The 6. Awesome. 6 times 1. Okay, and there's our expanded notation. And again, you can really see why they call it expanded. It is way bigger than it was when we first started. Let me check, because we're doing good with this. Let me see if there's something a little bit different, a little bit tougher even for us. Ah, okay. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. You're going to turn the page and find place value 4A, page 3. And that one looks like a normal page, kind of sitting upright. Got 2 problems on it, problem E and problem F. Okay, problem E and problem F. We're going to start with problem E. The counter shows the distance in miles from Earth to the planet Venus. Here they don't put it into a place value chart for us, but they do give it in little blocks. So we can kind of use that. What place value would be over here? The smallest place value. Alexa?
6 ones.
6 ones. So I'm going to put an O for ones. Okay. Next to the ones, what place value should be there? Kylie?
0 tens.
0 tens. Okay. Next to the 0 tens, what place value is there? Violet, what place value would be next? We have the ones, we have the tens, and then what?
Then it would be the hundreds.
Perfect, the hundreds. Okay. After the hundreds, what's next? Who can tell me? Ones, tens, hundreds, and then Messiah, what's the next place value? What would come next, Messiah? Ones, tens, hundreds.
Thousands.
Thousands, awesome. So there's something that I do whenever I write my thousands place. I don't want to confuse it with my tens place. So I put capital T and a lowercase h. Okay, after the thousands, what comes next? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Kylie?
10,000.
10,000. Okay, this time for 10,000s, what I normally do is I just put two capital T's. 10,000. After the 10,000, what's the next one? Chase? We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000. What's the next one? All my powers worked on Chase. Jada, what's next? What would be the next one, Jada? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000.
$100,000.
100,000. Awesome. 100,000. Okay, after the 100,000, who can tell me what's next? Messiah, what's after the 100,000?
A million.
Million. I'm gonna put an M.
Yeah.
Okay, after million. Kylie?
10 million.
10 million. We have one last place value. After 10 million, it would be what? Alexa?
100 million?
100 million. Okay. So, our question says, what is the value of the digit 3 in this number? So they're not really worried about all the other ones. They want us to focus on the 3. Who can tell me what place value is the 3 in? Kylie?
B.
B tells us it's 30,000. My 3 is in the 10,000s. Very good job. And if I want to be sure, I can always count the zeros. So I have 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
I counted
2,
this now.
3. Awesome. So good job thinking to count the zeros. My answer should be B. Okay. Problem F. A rock band sold 77,700 tickets to a concert. Which statement about this number is true? Now, this time, they were not very nice to me. This time, they did not give me a place value chart. So, I'm going to go ahead and have to make my own. I'm going to take my number, and I'm going to write it kind of big. I don't want to write it teeny tiny. I want to have space. But I'm going to copy my number. 7, 7, comma, 7, 0, 0. And if you notice, I left plenty of space between them to make my place value chart. I'm going to draw some lines. And I'm going to put what place value each number is in. Just like we did for problem E, I'm going to start with the ones place. Then we have the tens place. Then the hundreds. After the hundreds, who can tell me what would be next? Bella?
The thousands?
Thousands, awesome. I'm going to put a T, capital T, and a lowercase h, so I don't get confuse it with the tens. After the thousands, what's next? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Alexa?
10,000?
10,000. So I'm going to put 2 capital T's. All right. Now let's take a look at our answer choices. The value of the digit in the tens place is 10 times the value of the digit in the hundreds place. Okay, this is already making me think. We talked about how to compare our place values. I told you all there were only 2 answers it could be. 10 times or 1/10. Because the place value is either going to get bigger or the place value is going to get smaller. Who remembers? If it gets bigger, how much bigger is it getting? Kylie, how much bigger does it get?
It gets 10 times bigger.
10 times. So I'm going to
1
write
times
10
smaller.
times underneath my arrow. That's showing me that it gets bigger. What about if it gets smaller? How much smaller will it get? Messiah?
Let's try it until 11:30. 10.
Not 10. What is it? You're close though. 10 is part of it. Who can tell me how much smaller does it get? 10 is part of it, but it's not just 10 smaller. We're on place value 4A, page 3, Nakai. Okay. That's good, Chase. So Chase, can you tell me how much smaller does it get? 10 is part of it. Messiah was really close, but it's not just 10 smaller.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Who can help us? Who can help us out? We know it gets 10 times bigger, but how much smaller does it get? Brianna?
10 times smaller.
Not 10 times. 10 is part of it, but it's not 10 times. 10 times is bigger. Irene, do you remember?
10 times. 10 times smaller?
Not 10 times. That's if it gets bigger.
Oh, mm,
I'm glad you guys remember 10. 10 is super important to it.
uh, I don't know. You guys
Okay.
are freezing.
Who can help her? Alexa?
I think 5 times smaller.
Not 5 times. There's a 10 in there somewhere. Kylie?
1/10 smaller.
Perfect. 1/10. It looks like a fraction. Like 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
1/10 smaller.
Wondering if someone's gonna say that.
So 10 is super, super important. That's definitely a part that you need to remember. But don't get them mixed up. 10 times, it has multiplication in it. It's going to make it bigger. 1/10 is a fraction. It's going to be smaller. So let's take a look and see if these are true or not. Okay? Something I've seen and something that I've noticed will help me out when I have a problem that says something like which of these is true is next to my answer choices, just so they don't trick me. What I start doing is I write a T and an F for true and false, and I do it next to all of my answer choices. True and false, true and false. The reason why I put true and false next to all of my answer choices is because sometimes they try to be really tricky and they'll say which of these is not true. And then we forget about the not part and we choose one that is true. If I do this, then there's always going to be one answer choice that is different. There's either going to be one answer choice that is true or one answer choice that is false. If I have them here, all I have to do is pick the answer choice that's different. Whichever one is different is the correct answer. So I like to do this just to kind of make sure I don't make any mistakes. So let's take a look here. The value of the digit in the tens place, so this here, I'll put my finger on it, is 10 times the value of the digit in the hundreds place. Okay, so they want to look at the tens and the hundreds. Is the tens place bigger than the hundreds place? Does that make sense? Irene?
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. If somebody owed you $100, they can't just give you $10 and go, here you go, Irene, I gave you all the money.
No.
They owe you a lot more. We're going to put false.
Yep.
Okay? Let's check the next answer choice. The value of the digit in the 10,000s place. Okay, so 10,000s place is 1/10 the value of the digit in the hundreds place. So is the 10,000s place smaller than the hundreds place? Does that make sense? Bella, what do you think? Is the 10,000s place smaller than the hundreds? No. The 10,000s place is much, much bigger. They're not even next to each other. There's even a whole place value in between. And the 10,000s we know is the bigger one. So that can't be it. Okay. The value of the digit in the hundreds place, so hundreds place, right here, is 10 times the value of the digit in the thousands place. So this one here. So is the hundreds place 10 times, is it bigger than the thousands place? Can the hundreds place be bigger than the thousands place? Nakai?
No.
No. So that's false. We know that the hundreds place is smaller. It has to be 1/10. We said the 10,000s place was bigger. It can't be 1/10. And the tens place was smaller. So that can't be 10 times. So this last answer choice is either correct or we made a big mistake. The value of the digit in the thousands place, thousands, is 1/10 the value of the digit in the 10,000s place. Okay, so is the thousands place smaller than the 10,000s place? Is my thousands smaller than 10,000? Kylie?
1,000 is smaller than 10,000.
It is smaller. And look what I have. Smaller, 1/10. That matches what I wrote down here. This one is true. All the other ones have it turned around. They have smaller numbers with 10 times, or they have bigger numbers with 1/10. They don't have them matching. So the only one that's different, the only one that's true,
Is J.
is J. So that's my answer. Yes, Nakai?
I didn't get a copy of the top one.
That's all right. Here, I'll move it down a little bit for you. Hang on just a second, guys. I'm just checking the rest of these pages, okay? So hold on. I'm going to move it really quick, but then I'll put it back. Okay, if you look at the next page, it's the same thing that we practiced yesterday. So we're going to skip a little bit past that too. The next page I want you to find says, actually, you know what? Yeah, this is the next page I want you to find. Place value 4B, page 4. And we're going to try number 7. Number 7 is a lot like the problem that we just did. So we're going to practice on it again. Okay. Place value 4B, page 4. A professional football team sold 35,550 tickets to a game. Which statement about this number is true. And again, they say true. So next to my answer choices, I'm going to put a T and I'm going to put an F. That way I can keep track of which one is true and which one is false. T and F, T and F, T and F, T and F. And again, this problem, they weren't super nice to us, so we have to make our own place value chart. I'm going to write my number the same way they give it to me, but I'm going to leave those spaces so I can make my place value chart. I'm not going to write it really small. 35,550. After I write my number, put my lines, then I can put my place values. We always start with the ones place. After the ones, what place value would come next? Nakai?
10.
10. The ones, tens, then we'd have the hundreds. And after the hundreds would be what? Kylie?
The thousands.
Thousands. Perfect. And after the thousands, we'd have 10,000. All right.
Could you mute me, please?
Sure. If I look at my answer choices, I can already see that they keep saying 10 times and 1/10. I'm going to write that note to remind me. One of them is for when it's bigger. One of them is for when it's smaller. Which one matches the big when the number gets bigger? Violet?
I don't have that page.
It's almost at the back of the chart, Violet. It's behind some more pages that are sideways.
I looked all through my pages twice and they're not there.
Okay, you're looking at the back side too? Okay. Check one more time, Violet, and if you can't find it, then just follow along with me.
Okay.
So which one of those is for when the place value is bigger? How much bigger does the place value get? Kylie?
The bigger one is 10 times.
10 times. All right, now for the tricky one. When the place value is smaller, how much smaller does it get? Irene?
1/10.
1/10. Awesome. Okay, so I know what matches now. Smaller goes with 1/10. Bigger goes with 10 times. Now I just have to see which one of the answer choices are true and which ones are not. Nakai, you have a question, or are you just getting ready for the first answer choice?
You forgot to circle 35,500.
Oh, you're right. Go ahead and circle our number that we're working with. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, let's take a look now.
It's
Okay, so just go ahead and follow along. The value of the digit in the hundreds place. Okay, so hundreds place is 10 times the value of the digit in the thousands place. So is the hundreds bigger than the thousands or smaller than the thousands? Kylie?
So the 100 is smaller.
The hundreds is smaller. So this is a smaller one. So Kylie, does 10 times go with smaller?
Nope.
Nope. So this is
1/10
false.
does. False. Of course.
Okay, let's check the next one. The value of the digit in the hundreds place, okay, hundreds place again, it's pretty popular, is 1/10 the value of the digit in the thousands place. So, is the hundreds bigger
But that's
or
fine.
smaller than the thousands? Aideen?
Smaller.
Smaller. Okay. So again, smaller. Aideen, does 1/10 go with smaller?
Yes.
Okay, so we can put true. Okay. Answer choice C. The value of the digit in the tens place. Okay, tens place. Is 10 times the value of the digit in the hundreds place. So who can tell me, is the tens place bigger or smaller than the hundreds place? Ezekiel, is the tens place bigger or smaller than the hundreds place?
Smaller.
Smaller. So Ezekiel, does smaller go with 10 times?
What?
Does 10 times go with smaller?
You know.
No.
No, it doesn't. So this has to be false. Yes, Nakai.
You forgot to circle the thousands place in A and B, and then hundreds in C.
I'm only circling the first place value, Nakai, because I need to know where I start. That's why I only circle one of the place values. I keep my fingers on one, and then I tap the one I'm comparing it to. That way I can see if it's bigger or smaller. But I only want to circle the first one, because I don't want to get confused and just always put bigger or always put smaller. I need to know where I started to figure out if it's going backwards or forwards. Okay, answer choice D. After this, Messiah, we are going to work on multiplication a little bit, and then we can do the read aloud. The value of the digit in the hundreds place, hundreds, is 1/10 the value of the digit in the tens place. Who can tell me, is the hundreds bigger or smaller than the tens place? Kylie?
It's bigger.
It's bigger. Does bigger go with 1/10 or not? Alexa, does bigger go with 1/10 or not?
It
Oh,
does
Kylie's
not.
back. So Kylie, does 1/10 go with bigger or not?
It goes with bigger.
1/10 goes with bigger? So it says 1/10. Does 1/10 make it bigger or smaller?
No. Make it smaller.
Makes it smaller, so this doesn't
She
go
said
together.
10 times.
No, it was 1/10.
This kid is talking.
Okay. Looking at my answer choices, there's only one that's different. Answer choice B. Again, go ahead and take this paper, put it away someplace where you know where it is. Don't just toss it over your shoulder and hope you find it again, because we're going to use it again. So don't throw it in the trash. Don't just toss it around in your room or your house. Put it someplace where you're going to remember it, because we're going to need it again.